Hello everybody, this is your girl Misty Dawn again. I'm trying to focus this camera. There we go. Now, we are off to Dr. Malhotra's office. So, Dr. Malhotra is the stomach doctor. I went to him some years ago. Like way some years ago. Okay, this is like cold. So I'm going to do this. Because I'm freezing right now. It's freezing in the house too. Of course, Mr. and Mrs. Hotbody, they think that it's like 80 degrees in there when it's not. It doesn't matter. It's okay. We're good. So, back to my discussion for part 2. My discussion for part 2 was, how do you wake up and decide that your dead parents, you don't got no love for? That I don't know. So I was just like kind of doing stuff around, and I think that it's not that I don't have any love for them. I think that it is mainly because I'm going through this therapy, and I'm writing this story about the first time that my dad did anything that caused me trauma. I told you about this cognitive therapy and how you write down all of this stuff. Well, I'm like writing this story, and it's the same story, and I've written it and I've gone over it again and again and again and again, and it's the same crap, different day. It is the fact that my dad got mad at my mother over a damned chicken leg. That's the gist of it, from what I remember. And I was all psyched that day because I had a new dress for my Auntie Paula. And anybody that knows me knows my Aunt Paula, I want to be attached to her hip, even now when I'm pushing 40 years old. I know my cousins, Shauna, Tiffany, and Mandy, that's their mom, and I shouldn't try to be honing in on, their mama, but I can't help it. I've always been my Aunt Paula's shadow. I've just always been. And I've always thought that I've always been like her baby. And I think it's because she's always protected me from my mom and dad. Because my mom wasn't as abusive as my dad, but she would do stuff because of my dad. And I get that. I understand it as an adult now, why she would do some of the things she did. I had to crack my neck. Well, anyways, I was like 4 or 5. And I wanted to wear this new dress because I got it from Auntie Paula. I was all excited. It was like a summer day or something. And the windows were open. The birds were chirping. It was like a freaking Cinderella story fairy tale. I get up and I'm in my jammies and I like make coffee, set the table for breakfast. I don't remember my dad being there. He probably was, because God love him, if anything took any effort to do anything, he wasn't doing it. It's just all there was to it. So, but I don't remember him being there. So Mama and I get the breakfast going, and everything's great, and I get to put on my new dress, and I take this bath, and my mom puts my hair in curls and all of this happy horse crap. We do the makeup thing. We have a good day. I remember a good day. Daddy comes home, and like dinner wasn't started. The house was clean. We cleaned the house. House was clean. But Daddy comes home and dinner wasn't started, so he was pretty peeved off. Fine, be mad. Okay? In my mind, I'm thinking, fine, be mad. I don't care. Whatever. So, we were making like stuffed pork chops. Something like really extravagant because, we like to cook like that. And Daddy likes stuff like that. And he cooked like that. So Mama was going to teach me how we do that. You buy the great big thick pork chops that are cut. Then you cut them in half, not all the way, but somewhat. Then you stuff them with the stuffing, and then you bake them. And to my knowledge, as an adult, it takes about an hour and a half to get all of that prep time and the baking time. The baking time's like an hour long, and then like You gotta make the stuffings like a half an hour. So prep time's like 45 minutes. So it's a long process. And then, of course, we're making like potatoes and green beans, that kind of thing. Anyways, so to hone him over, we make him this big, humongous, Big Mama sandwich. And I had like a couple slices of cheese because I've always been a cheese girl. And my mama sees this chicken leg from like last night's dinner in the refrigerator. So she grabs it out and she starts to eat it. He sees it and he gets so mad over a chicken leg. I'm like, are you serious? A chicken leg? This MFer. So he got mad and he called over somebody. I assumed it was Mike Bigler because I assumed that I was in Ohio. I could have been in Alabama, but I don't remember Mike Bigler being in Alabama at all. But then again, my memory's so messed up because I've been beating the head all the time for so long. I don't know which end is up. So in any event, we'll just say that I was in Ohio. And Mike comes over and Daddy goes, "You can take her to the park." I'm like, okay, I got this pretty dress on. I got all these like little matching stuff. My hair's done. I don't get to go to the park for just no reason. I knew what was going on. I'm not stupid. And I talked to Mike on the way walking to the park. I'm like, he's going to beat her up over a chicken leg. I was not a dumb child by any means. Or stretch the imagination. So, that's the kind of life that I remember having. I mean, there was good times. There was great times where we laughed and we talked and everything and you know, we did stuff and everything was happy, go lucky, wonderful, beautiful, whatever. So in any event, here we are going through all this and this trauma thing, and I wrote this story and I've got to rewrite it, and I have a little bit, and I'm going to write it out in handwriting because you're supposed to. It's just going to take me a few minutes. And I got some stuck points where I'm just sitting here in awe of what I'm writing. And I'm thinking, really offended me. Of course, that's light for what? I should be pissed. But it offended me. So in any event, I say to myself, okay, I wake up and I'm like, how can you not love your parents? Who says that? I was offended at myself to begin with because I took down their pictures. That was the first thing I was upset at myself for. Because I thought, these are your parents, and there goes the thing. Jesus criminy. Crap-tack-ola, I'm just saying. Ooh, everything does happen for a reason. That's a better look. Anyway, I already took their pictures down. So I'm thinking this is a lovely freaking mess. So, how do you not love your parents? These are your parents. They gave you life, a roof over your head, food in your stomach. They tried to teach you how to be a woman or a man, whichever sex you are. They tried to be there for you. I mean, I know as I got older, after I stood up to my father when I was 26, he then was like, okay, she's not going to be in my punching bag anymore, so why don't I just be nice to her, because she probably got a better right hook by now than I do. So he was nice to me. As long as I didn't like step on his toes and like really step on his toes, like do stuff really better than him, like sing or something like that, then he was okay. But if I like sang better than him, oh, it was on. That's a whole nother vlog and a whole nother bitch session. So I'm like really struggling with that. How do you not love your parents? I mean, come on, it's your mom and dad. What kind of daughter am I to be like, yeah, they're dead, and I love them while they were alive, and now that I'm going through all this cognitive thing, I don't know that I can really, you know, want to cling to them. I don't think I love them very much. They're kind of, that's kind of screwed up. That's tore up from the floor up on so many levels. But then I think to myself, you know, it's just like when someone dies, you grieve. And you have all these different levels of grieving. Why wouldn't it be the same thing? I mean, I think it would. I think it'd be like the exact same thing. It's having all these different levels of grieving, and maybe this is one of the levels of going through this therapy. Is that with this first instance that I'm going over, and I'm telling this story over and again, and I'm reading this story over and again, and I'm thinking about this story over and again, and I'm really, really just digging into it, and thinking about how offended and how angry I am. And when I came home and I found my mother, and she was on the floor, and she was like leaning on the bathtub, but you know how like the wall meets the bathtub, and there's that little corner. It was like that. She was leaning like right there. And her makeup was run from tears and blood. Her lip was like swollen up, and her eye was swollen shut. It was like pathetic. And I thought to myself, how could she let him do this to her to begin with? And I asked her that one time, and she told me it was because of me. Yeah, let me say that again. Because of me. Because she didn't want to leave him because that was my father. And she took those blows because of me. Because if I wasn't a perfect little girl, then he was going to get mad. He was going to beat somebody up. And instead of beating me up all the time, she took some of the blows so I didn't get it as bad. I still got it bad. Bad enough that I had migraine headaches at like 8 years old. And they were trying to tell me, because of course I'm not going to say, oh yeah, well, she's had head trauma because, you know, daddy beats her in the head all the time because she's a bad little girl because she doesn't do the dishes right. Yeah, they're going to say that because that's going to make them look like parents of the freaking year. Yeah, no. They're not going to say that. No. So everybody's like, they can't do it, they're not going to, blah, blah, blah. So, they're trying to figure it all out. So, they do that by saying, oh, it has to be hereditary. So, she has a migraine because of that. So, my mother tells me all these blows are because of me. And I feel awful about it. What am I supposed to do with that? I mean, really. What do you do with that? I'm just saying, what do you do with that? I wonder sometimes. And I think that it's like a grieving process, like I said. And you go through that. And this is just the first trauma that I can ever remember that happened with my dad. And he beat my mom up. And maybe, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I feel responsible. Could that be? That I feel responsible for her getting into trouble for eating a chicken leg? When I look back on hindsight? That could be. I'm not sure because it's so like, some of the details are really fuzzy, some are not. I mean, I called my Aunt Paula and asked her where she lived at when I was like 4 or 5. And she said she was in Ohio. So she might have been there and they just had a falling out and wasn't talking. Because I remember missing her a lot. A whole lot. So, I don't know. I just know that I have all these medical problems. And, I mean, dialysis is in my future, possibly. I've got to go to this stomach doctor because my stomach won't let me eat right. And I hurt all the time. My chest hurts, my body hurts, everything hurts. The thing that messes with me the most is the depression. And why am I depressed? Because my parents were kind of like, I don't know, 3 bricks shy of a load. And then I struggle with the fact that I'm thinking, I don't quite love them. But maybe I do, and just right now, I can't express it. So, I don't know. I'm just like, this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't see any good coming from it. Except for maybe I get through the trauma and I'm more able to be a productive member of society. Now that is my goal, technically. Because I do want to be a productive member of society. And I want to find love. Not that I don't have love now. I love Robert and Amber. I love them very much. With all my heart, I love them. But I have to be real. I have to be real. And I have to know that not all the time do triangle relationships, as I like to call them, last forever. I would love for it to last forever. Because I really, really love them. But I'm not going to, delusion myself in saying, yes, they last forever. Because they don't. And I just want to be okay again. And be happy again. Because seriously, I'm not myself anymore. I'm this shell of a person. I don't go to church anymore. I don't sing anymore. And if I do sing, it's the most depressing, freaking slit your throat and blow your brains out just to make sure you're dead kind of songs. So, there you have it. I mean, I have my good days like everybody does. And I'm working on it. And I guess that's all you can do. So, if you like this vlog, comment below. Like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. YouTube.com/MistyDawnGoodwin. It used to be Granny's Girl Forever. The number 4 ever. But I don't know what they've done with that. It showed up Misty Dawn Goodwin the other day, so I don't know. YouTube's always changing stuff with Google Plus and all that happy horse stuff. So, yeah, and I fidget with my hair way too much. But anyways, you'll have that. So, with that, I will bid you adieu, because I have to get in here and make sure that they can do something with this terrible tummy of mine. Because that's what you do. And I will probably make a part 3. Because I really, really have had a good time vlogging today. Because I need this. I'm having what I like to call a Sean moment. Where I really, really miss Sean. The good times, not the bad. The good times. And it hurts right now. So, I will bid you adieu until then. Remember, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your bird. Especially if it's a mockingbird or a parrot. Tell your bird, because your bird will tell your friends. Because they talk all the time like me. Until then, my darlings.